The Eagles are so red hot right now that despite some early mistakes, they brought out the belt and dominated the Cowboys in Big D. Oh, and Zack Baun's contract extension, well, it just got a lot more expensive thanks to Vic Fangio's quick thinking that has turned the Eagles' defense into a juggernaut. Plus, here by Saquon Barkley and Lane Johnson, they weren't exactly satisfied despite a 35-point drubbing from Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. Destroying the Cowboys is always fun to watch, but destroying Dallas despite some early mistakes and still letting Kenny Pickett play the entire fourth quarter is nothing short of a perfect Sunday for Bird fans. The nail in the coffin officially for the Cowboys' 2024 season was delivered by Philadelphia, and the Commanders lost just hours earlier. The Birds now have a chance to go up 2 games in the NFC East this coming Thursday back at the Link. Which, by the way, if you want to go to that game, I have 4 tickets left that I'm selling, sadly not giving away because I paid money for these tickets, but selling lower level Section 106 to Eagles Commanders, trying to get exactly what I paid for, which was $430 a piece. There are tickets right in front of them going for over $650, trying to save you guys money here. If you're interested in buying these, again, not a giveaway, go to my description box, send me an email, all the details are there, and I'll get you those tickets sent out as quickly as possible. That way you can go to the biggest Eagles game of the year. Now, things were not so great early in this game with the Bird offense technically moving the ball, but then sacks and penalties absolutely nuked their opening drive. Thankfully, though, Cooper Rush decided to drop the football on the snap and cause the first of 5 turnovers in the game, something Philadelphia has only done 3 times in their entire team history, with the last 2 coming on seasons where they at least, one time they won the Super Bowl, but at least made it to the Super Bowl. Jalen would then fight Saquon for what was nearly an identical play, minus the hurdle from last week, getting the Birds into brotherly shove territory for their first touchdown score of the game. Honestly, Saquon had a pretty quiet 14 carries for 66 yards. I mean, his standard is like $130 and multiple touchdowns, although he didn't play in the fourth quarter, and said post-game, this offense is still just scratching the actual surface of how good it can be.
Think about the positive stuff, and there's a lot of positive things going on right now, but the beauty is we still haven't scratched the surface, and that's kind of the scary thing, and we got to stop saying that. We got to start putting things together, and look forward to the challenge that's coming up this week.
Back on defense, and I thought the D-line played a little soft early, gave up a couple of big runs that were uncharacteristic, but how about third down? Guantanamo Bay shutting down the Cowboys and adding to his now 5-game stretch of only 19 targets, 9 catches, and 87 yards allowed plus 0 touchdowns. I mean, this guy might be the best rookie Philadelphia has ever seen, and according to Brian Baldinger, he's only getting better each week.
3 certainties in life after 10 weeks of the season: death, taxes, and Quinyon Mitchell does not get beat. Watch his feet. He's got amazing feet. Watch. He doesn't guess. He stays right in front of Brooks, and then when Brooks takes off, he squeezes him to the sideline, and he finds the ball, and he gets him out of bounds. Like, he doesn't get beat. And then you watch this right here. All right, it's 3rd and 10. All right, early in the game right now. Now, here comes Tolbert up in the middle. All right, it's at 3rd and 10. Watch where he makes the tackle at 9 yards. You know what the Cowboys are screaming on the sideline? Punt team. And then you get on a 3rd and 5 right here. All right, here's CeeDee Lamb. They're running a play for him. They're going to run all these rubs and picks in the middle of the field. And even when he does have to bubble right here, like, the guy's a great tackler. Down goes Lamb. But then, like, it's one good play after another. You watch this right here. And here it is again. Brooks against Quinyon Mitchell. Puts that left foot in the ground. Swat! Bang! Gets the ball out. I mean, it's death, taxes, and Quinyon Mitchell doesn't get beat. Those are the 3 certainties in life after 10 weeks of the NFL season.
Back on offense, and if you're like me and were worried about Jalen Hurts' ankle earlier this week, well, that notion was dispelled pretty quickly. Jalen ran all over the field pretty early on and honestly was fantastic, and that's even with this interception to Trayvon Diggs in the red zone where, sure, it's not the best throw, but I'd honestly give Diggs a lot more credit than really Hurts doing anything wrong on this pass.
Knew exactly what they were going to do. Had a good eye for it. 7 just made a hell of a play. And much respect to him making a hell of a play. Tried to fit it in there. Could have got outside to Grant. Actually told Grant that was going to happen, and I didn't pull the trigger on it. So I own it. And I own the fumble as well. And it'll be an opportunity for us to grow from it. I'll learn from it as well.
1 interception in the past 6 games. I mean, come on. Like, we can rip Jalen Hurts up and down for this play or that play, but he's been fantastic since the bye week, and that 1 interception to me was probably the least worrisome pick he's thrown maybe all season long. I mean, his passing chart from Sunday was yet again an absolute masterpiece, and he now leads the league in touchdowns with 16 dating back to week 5, and is averaging 3 touchdowns a game right now, the only quarterback to do so. Still, it's his short-term memory, especially after a mistake like that might be Jalen's best overall attribute as QB1. Now, 2 possessions later, and Dallas was back in business in the red zone, but then the Zack Baun effect happens again, forcing the fumble of the washed-up Zeke Elliott, giving the ball right back to the Birds. And at this point, if you don't realize how good Zack Baun has been, he is honestly a top 3 middle linebacker in the National Football League right now. I mean, the highest graded linebacker in the NFL the past 3 weeks, 30 solo tackles the past 3 weeks, 3 forced fumbles, 1 interception. Everyone keeps saying that he's the best linebacker since TJ Edwards, but he's honestly on a completely different level than TJ was ever at during his prime in Philadelphia. Oh, and he's also probably the most humble guy you'll ever hear talking post-game about his own battles through adversity to get to this point in his career.
I compare it a lot to the time I transferred high schools. I was kind of uncomfortable in my old high school, kind of stood out, and when I transferred, I felt like I could be myself and be me, and that's exactly how I feel with this team. Just they embraced me so much, the coaches, the players, the cafeteria staff, everyone just accepted me like a big family, and the people in the building made it really easy for me to transition here.
Baun honestly is the key to the entire defense. He's flying around, creating turnovers, making plays. Howie, if you're listening to this right now, send me a Venmo. I'll help out in any way possible. Oh, and if this video gets 1.5K comments and 2,000 likes, I will give away a Zack Baun Nike official Eagle jersey to one person who obviously drops a like, is a subscriber, and comments Baun down below. Not enough 53s going around the link these days. I think he's going to be here for a long time. Let's get one of you guys a Zack Baun jersey. Now, right after all this, Jalen made honestly his one true big mistake of the game when Micah Parsons got free and forced this fumble. Jalen's fumbling problem was seemingly fixed since the bye week, but again, great play by 11, not so great pass protection up front was the real culprit here. I defend Jalen all day long based on his performance yesterday. Still, he's got to be a little more careful, but Micah's going to be Micah even if he's missed the past couple of weeks.
Number 11 over there, we probably thought about him this week more than we thought about our loved ones and anybody else. Like, the offensive staff had him on our mind the entire game, had him on our mind the entire week, and that's what you got to do with good players around the league. Hats off to him. He made a good play there.
Also, shout out to Jerry Jones for building the worst stadium in the world for late afternoon games in November, as the sun clearly blinded CeeDee Lamb a couple plays later and saved a touchdown. We're talking $1.3 billion to build this stadium that they couldn't even position right to avoid disaster plays like this. Back on offense, and how about another perfectly executed end of the half drive by Jalen here? This is week after week after week, right down the field, finishing off with a touchdown pass to Dallas Goedert that only the QB1 right now of the Birds could make. How about sidestepping a free rusher and finding Dallas in Dallas for the big score before halftime? Back after half, and a similar drive would happen in the third quarter with Philly driving right back into the red zone. And then how about Jalen's Houdini abilities, finding rookie Johnny Wilson for his first ever touchdown as a Bird?
It was great. It's crazy. I had a whole celebration planned out, and one dude bumped into me. I'm like, you know what? Let me just celebrate with my team. They were happy. They brought the energy, and couldn't make me feel any happier. So
the defense would force a 3-and-out, and then come on, the route was officially on right in the field once again, and then Jalen doing it with the legs. How about a healthy lower body? Love that for touchdown number 4 already on the day. This offense is rolling right now, and I know you're gonna hear the Cowboy defense is terrible. The Giant defense was so bad a couple weeks ago. They're rolling everybody and anybody in their way right now, and what's crazy is they scored all these points midway through the third quarter, and yet Lane Johnson post-game continues to say, we need to be better, we can be better, we have things to fix.
We're getting better. I still feel, when you go back and watch the game, there's some pivotal points early where, we didn't convert on a turnover and be in great field position. So, and moving forward, we want to be able to put a complete game together. So we had, I think defense played one of their best games this year. Offense, we picked it up second half.
Back on defense, and shout out to Bryce Huff for the strip sack of Cooper Rush on 3rd and 9. He only played 12 snaps on defense as his role continues to diminish dramatically, but only putting him out there for clear pass rush situations has definitely increased his production. $17 million is not worth 12 snaps at all, but he has technically been making some impact plays during those 12 snaps, and so give credit to Vic Fangio for making a very tough call, essentially benching him for the better of the team. Honestly though, out of all the good the Eagles have had, had the past 5 to 6 weeks, we cannot give enough credit to Vic Fangio. He has been the true, real difference maker of the entire Philadelphia Eagles, turning this defense into a legit Super Bowl caliber unit.
Calls and everything, but everybody taking ownership of the defense. You know, we holding ourselves to a standard. We have set a standard to our play and the way we play, the way we take the ball away, the way we tackle, the way we execute, the way we make plays. We have set a standard, and we trying to play that standard every chance we get.
I don't know. We just balling. We feeling it. We all together. We all eating as one, and it's showing on film and it's showing in the game.
Is this the best you played, this defense?
Right. This game?
Yeah.
You could say that because we got 5 turnovers, you know, and our goal was to get more and more turnovers. And coaches told us that, you know, it's going to happen. You know, we ain't got to rush it. It's going to happen. And to find out we had 5, you know, that's a big accomplishment. And trying to get 7 next week.
You gotta remember, Fangio was essentially kicked out of Miami and mocked endlessly by the Dolphins players for being old and washed and apparently mean, and then a lot of us Eagle fans, including myself, were a little concerned after the Birds' slow start, but since the bye, Fangio has a top 5 defense, look at this, in every single category except for sacks, where he still ranks top 10. He has the linebackers playing at a Pro Bowl level. Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell are 2 of the best corners in the league as rookies, and the defensive line is playing light years better than they were last year with arguably worse talent. Oh, and they're also creating a ton of turnovers. Like Fangio, again, big hats off to him. He's been absolutely incredible. Anytime Kenny Pickett starts the fourth quarter, that means the Birds are rolling, and we've gotten 2 games in the past 5 weeks where the backups have played a significant amount of snaps late in the game because the Birds are dominating. And, well, sure, beating up on Dallas and watching their locker room absolutely implode post-game, very fun. We all like it. Drop a thumbs up. The true test now lays just a couple of days in front of you, as Philadelphia will face a 3-loss Commander team Thursday night at the Link for full control of the NFC East and maybe the NFC. Beat Washington, and the Birds will have a 2-game lead in the division with their sights set on the 1 seed, and honestly, it sure sounds like the Birds are happy to beat the Cowboys, but as BG says here, all the focus immediately shifts to stopping Jaden Daniels.
So far, we ain't done yet. We got a big one this week against a great team that's going they hot right now. I just heard they lost, but they still probably marked us on the calendar for sure, because we know it got to go through them just as much as they got to go through us. And we got to make sure we bring it on Thursday.
How soon before you start thinking about that?
Right now. It's right now. I mean, you got to enjoy the win, but, I mean, when we get on that plane, we're going to be talking about, all right, y'all, this is a big one right here. You know, this is going to – I ain't saying this is our season, but this is like, you know, if we in first right now, we got to stay in first. And so we got to make sure that we separate ourselves, especially with a win this week.
Plus, we just got word a couple of minutes ago that Philadelphia has activated Jordan Mailata to the 21-day practice window coming off of IR, meaning technically he can practice this week, and there's a very good chance he plays on Thursday night. Now, the Eagles only have a couple of walkthroughs this week, and so technically no full-on practice. They might hold out Mailata for another week just to give him enough rest, but would you have activated him today if you actually didn't want him to play on Thursday? I think a major boost could be coming to a Birds offensive line that's playing great, don't get me wrong, but a little more security on the left side, especially in pass protection, could go a long way to beating the Commanders. This Cowboys game went exactly as we all would have hoped, right? Injury-free, and that so far seems to be the case. Dominant, where you didn't need to play in the fourth quarter, and also getting ready for a Commanders team that lost a couple of hours earlier. Everything went perfectly in a stadium that Philadelphia has not played well at really each of the last 3 years. Jalen Hurts had never beaten the Cowboys on the road. Saquon Barkley 0-10 in his entire career against Dallas, and yet all of that is put to bed, and we shift our sights on the Washington Commanders. As you guys know, myself and Josh Davis, we will be at Eagles versus Commanders, this time in the presidential suite. We got an invite into one of the presidential boxes. Very excited for that, but if you guys want to hang out pregame, we will be in lot, as I look up here, K11 is where we'll be hanging out with our friends Mike and Lamb at one of the best tailgates in all Philadelphia I've ever been to. Come by, say hi if you guys want to hang out. That would be awesome. And as usual, as I said earlier, I'm trying to sell these 4 tickets. I am not trying to make a profit on them. I spent $430 a pop. I have 4 remaining, lower level. If you can stay me do $430, then I'll get them sent out to you. All the details are down below as well. The Birds are 7-2. If they can just beat the Commanders on Thursday, it's looking really good. It's fun time to be an Eagle fan. I'm Thomas Mott. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.